Hey folks, Gary here. Man, I hope you're having a good Monday morning. Matter of fact, I hope your week is going to be just fantastic. It's good to have good weeks. Now, can you imagine? I'm sure you can you imagine being so far in debt that you can't imagine getting out of it? Right, where and that's not hard to imagine these days. It's not with house prices the way they are. So mortgage payments, student loans, man, it's expensive. It's expensive to go to university or college. So student loans, medical bills, uh, car payments, lines of credit, credit cards, all those kind of things. It can be really easy to get really in a bad place financially. And so you know what that could be like. It's like, how am I possibly going to pay all this back? And can you imagine as well with that the debt gets so big that you can't pay it back? That you're like, I can't. There's no possible way. I make this much, and I got to pay this much a month. And you're falling farther and farther behind, and you just can't possibly pay it back. Matter of fact, you're going backwards. Well, imagine that situation, and you go to the person who owes you, who not owes you, that you owe all that money to, who lent you all that. You go to that person and you say, "Would you forgive me of all that? Would you would you just wipe all that off the books as if it never happened? Would you take away all that debt like it never actually happened and just take it away and forgive me of all of that debt? And could you also provide for me all of my needs as well, right? Take care of my clothing, food, all, like, take care of everything that I need. Could you do both those things?" I mean, that would be bold. That that would be an incredible amount of boldness to go to someone you owe that much to and ask them to actually take care of you and count everything that you owe uh, as gone, take it away. That would be amazing. Well, in Ephesians chapter 3, Paul writes, and he says in verse 12, because of Christ and our faith in him. So because of Jesus and the faith that we have in Jesus, that he died on the cross for our sins, that to pay for all of that, and because he rose on the third day and had his resurrection, because of those things, we can now come boldly and confidently into God's presence. Now, when Paul's saying we can come boldly into God's presence, it's not coming in with an arrogance, saying, "Hey, look at me, look what I've done, I'm amazing." It's not that at all. It's to be able to come into God's presence and not come in terrified, right? I mean, this is God. This is the creator of the entire universe. He holds the world in his hands, and we had owed him so much. That could be a terrifying situation if you walk into him knowing how much you owe him and not expecting him to forgive you. That could be terrifying, right? When it comes to eternity and where you're going to end up, that could be a terrifying notion. But we can walk into his presence with confidence and boldness because we know that Jesus has paid for that price, that we are completely forgiven of everything that all the transgressions. When we said, "Lord, would you forgive me?" He said, "Absolutely. I desire to do that." "Lord, would you care for me?" He says, "Yes." That was the plan from the beginning, that I would care for you. And we can confidently come into his throne room, not fearing this massive king, but coming in going, "There's my dad. That's my father in heaven." And we can come to him as a son and a daughter with a confidence and a boldness that's given to us from Jesus to know that God will care for us. So go about your week today with boldness. Start your week with boldness and confidence, not arrogance, but a boldness and confidence that you walk with the Most High God, because you do, and He's looking to take care of you. Have a good Monday.